Now, what we hear is that countries have reached a tentative agreement on some of those key elements of the IP waiver for COVID-19 vaccines. Now, given that there has been stiff opposition, especially from countries with big pharmaceutical sectors, what are the expectations in terms of what a deal will look like going forward?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I believe that the final deal will probably look similar to this compromise that was settled now between the EU, South Africa, India, and the US in collaboration with discussions with the WHO. Now, this particular agreement, as you've seen it, it's not a full TRIPS waiver, if you will. There are a lot of conditions still in this particular agreement in terms of patent use, and this sort of thing. And so it's not a full use of IP. There are limits in terms of exports, and there are other conditions in terms of the countries who can actually use the patents, and they will need approvals. So I do think it'll be similar to this. It remains to be seen the final piece, but this looks like where the discussions are heading.
Well, even then, the tentative agreement still needs formal approval from all parties, and of course the four WTO members before it can be considered official. Decisions on the length of the waivers will still need to be resolved as well. So can we expect the road to an agreement to be smooth sailing from here on?
I think that, frankly, I think it will be smoother than it's been. This was originally broached in fall 2020, when India and South Africa came and requested these waivers. So I think it's smoother now that we've gotten to this point of a compromise. But you will need buy-in. You'll need buy-in from the WTO member states, EU, full buy-in from the US, and of course, the other countries who would like to have these patents lifted. What I want to add too is, I think when we're thinking about this, what does this mean? This focuses on vaccines solely. So it also doesn't focus on testing other pharmaceutical interventions with COVID-19. And so it will be interesting to see if any of these are raised, in some of the final negotiations.
Well, this IP waiver will also apply only to countries who exported less than 10% of global vaccine doses in 2021. So who are the nations that are likely to benefit the most from this?
Absolutely. I think South Africa is one of them. Senegal has pharmaceutical capabilities and vaccine capabilities. Another, both of those countries have expressed interest in producing COVID-19 vaccines. Other countries on the continent have expressed interest, including Nigeria and Rwanda, so there may be possibilities there. I know Ghana has some vaccine manufacturing capability. There hasn't been much talk of Morocco, but Morocco has extensive pharmaceutical manufacturing capability, so that's maybe a possibility. Now, I'm interested to see what happens with India now. While India started these discussions, India produced a lot of the vaccines for COVAX. I don't know, would that be over 10%? Likely it could be. And so I think it will be interesting to see what role now India will play as this moves forward.